Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
What a homestand it has been so far for the St. Louis Cardinals and their fans as the 10-game stand continues tonight. The St. Louis Cardinals playing host to the Milwaukee Brewers. Two of the best outfielders in the game today. Perennial All-Star Ryan Braun is in the lineup tonight for the Brew Crew. All smiles so far for Carlos Beltran and the St. Louis Cardinals. Two teams going in different directions. A look at our first take. The Cardinals in the month of May, 11-3, best in the National League. Only 2 wins this month, and that's for the Milwaukee Brewers. That's a look at Rick Horton. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals Baseball. It sets up to be an interesting series because these two teams play each other so much. The Cardinals have been winning. Milwaukee, well, something's got to give. Something's got to turn for them in this series.
Cardinals swept Milwaukee in Milwaukee, and this is a team that is very streaky. The key to containing Milwaukee is containing the middle of the lineup. You've already talked about Ryan Braun, but Aramis Ramirez, to me, is a guy that has really hurt the Cardinals in the past. Why are the Cardinals so good, Dan? The starting pitching. Every time you look at a matchup, it favors St. Louis, all 5 guys, with an ERA under 3.
And the Cardinals have their lefty who's been so good at home. Jaime Garcia getting the start tonight. The righty Peralta for Milwaukee. Baseball. It's next. His third start of the year against Milwaukee, 12th of his career. Overall 5-3 in his career against Milwaukee, and this season, Rick, he has been dominating.
He did lose his last time out, Dan, but he's been very consistent in that rotation for the Cardinals. The key for Jaime Garcia, as always, keep the ball down in the strike zone.
That's a live look at Jaime getting loose for his start here tonight. On the other side, considered one of their top young prospects, Willie Peralta.
Just 23 years of age. He was good his last outing. That came against the Cincinnati Reds. A quality start. They love his arm, but you really can get to him. If you can get to him, get him thinking, get him nervous, get him off his game. You can see what happened in Milwaukee against him. The Cardinals picked up 7 hits and 6 runs in an inning at Milwaukee to beat him.
It's another big crowd on this Friday night. The hat giveaway presented by U.S. Cellular. A look at the NL Central center fielders when we come back. Those two in the lineup tonight for the Milwaukee Brewers. The NL Central loaded with very good center fielders. We'll start with our very own John Jay. 4 home runs, 40 RBIs all of last season. How about this? 4 home runs, 20 RBIs already this season. And hitting .440 against the Milwaukee Brewers this year. When you think about MVP candidates, one of the first names in the Central Division, Andrew McCutchen. Third in the MVP voting a year ago. Leads the National League with 4 assists on the season. Already 5 game-winning RBIs this year. One of the best leadoff men in all of baseball, Shin-Soo Choo. What a pickup for Walt Jocketty and the Reds. Hits for power and average. Leads all of baseball in runs scored. He is second in walks. Not talked about very often because of the team struggles, but David DeJesus, the center fielder for the Cubs, he's off to his best start since his days in Kansas City. A .320 career hitter against the St. Louis Cardinals. Carlos Gomez leads all of baseball with a .355 average. He'll be in the lineup tonight against St. Louis, where he's hitting .375 against the Cardinals this year. That's a look at the center fielders of the NL Central Division. John Jay and the Cardinals playing host to the Brewers tonight. Baseball is coming up. this season, and they lead the National League in wins. But with the Reds and Pirates also playing well, St. Louis can't slow down now. Milwaukee has been a mess in May, but you never know when Ryan Braun and the Brew Crew will wake up. Can the Cardinals cap off a successful homestand with a third straight series win? It starts tonight, next on Fox Sports Midwest. Fox Sports Midwest, brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. See your Mid-America Chevy dealer or log on to stlchevy.com. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake, just no equal. Not one red light on that drive. Take it all the way down to the riverfront. Maybe hop off to see a baseball game. Head up the arch. Who knows? There's a look at Ron Renneke trying to have his third consecutive winning season. No Milwaukee manager has ever done that. They've got to turn things on the road if that's going to happen. Aoki, Segura off to a great start. Then Braun here in the first. Ramirez back healthy, their cleanup man. Gomez, Betancourt, Weeks, Maldonado, and the pitcher Willie Peralta. The Cardinals defense around the horn brought to you by Dobbs. Holiday back in there tonight. He's in left, Jay in center. Beltran is in right. How about Pete Kozma? Just one error this season. He's at short. Molina's behind the plate. See Carpenter at second, Craig and Freeze at the corners, and our Kia starter is Jaime Garcia.
Garcia's line, his last outing, wasn't very good, but it was actually better than that in terms of how he pitched. He gave up a couple of home runs in that game, including a 3-run shot to Tulowitzki, 1 walk and 7 strikeouts, so really not that bad for Garcia. He's been extremely consistent in that Cardinal rotation.
76 degrees, our game time temperature here at Busch Stadium. Aoki, the leadoff man, who's hitting .307, slaps it foul out of play. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. This has been a Milwaukee team that has seen a lot of streaks, and 2 of the long streaks that they have been losing skids on the road this season. Just 6-12 this year. Here's the 0-2 from Jaime. Swung on and missed, and that's how we start the series. A strikeout for Garcia.
It's odd, Dan, that the Brewers have 16 wins on the season, and at one point they had 9 wins in a row.
Right.
Here's another look at that slider working away, and Aoki in his typical style, just trying to take it the other way. Good start for Jaime.
Replay brought to you by Plaza Tire Service. Mike Matheny and his club, the best record in the National League for the month of May. And there's a strike to Gene Segura. What a good young looking player that Milwaukee has here, and a guy that they could build around.
The offensive numbers are huge, but the Milwaukee folks still like his defense even more. He's been sensational at shortstop.
How about Cosma? He's been Mr. Steady at shortstop.
You can't have sensational. The next best thing is steady.
I think coming into the season, that's what everybody wanted from Pete Cosma. Doesn't have to be spectacular, just be steady. And he's done that as Braun is greeted by boos here in St. Louis. He's 8 for 34 with a double and a home run against lefty Jaime Garcia.
Handled him pretty well, I'd say. 235 batting average. Still a very dangerous hitter. And we saw him here. He was struggling.
Braun thrown out by Cosma. Good start for Jaime Garcia. Quick top of the first. Cardinals coming up in the home half. Followed by the cleanup man Alan Craig, then Molina, Jay, and Freeze, Cosma, and Garcia still hitless this year, 0 for 18. The defense brought to you by Dobbs. Braun, Gomez, Aoki in the outfield, Ramirez, Segura on the left side, Weeks, Betancourt on the right side, Maldonado behind the plate. And good old Ramos Ramirez has had a full season plus in his career against St. Louis, all those years with Pittsburgh and Chicago, now with Milwaukee. And there's their starter, his numbers, Willie Peralta.
He's a guy that could be an ace someday, Willie Peralta, just 23 years of age. Interesting, even though he throws 97 miles an hour, he's not a swing and miss type guy. Third in the National League in getting ground balls. Jaime Garcia's #1. He's 3. Wainwright's 4. So kind of a pitch to contact guy at 97, which is very odd and unusual. And again, he's the kind of guy that when he has trouble, Dan, he may unravel. And we saw that in Milwaukee. Just very frustrated by some chink hits that the Cardinals got. And next thing you know, he turned around. He gave up 6 runs on 7 hits in 1 inning. The Cardinals had 11 hits in that game against Peralta, all singles.
Yeah, so he has not allowed an extra base hit, albeit a very small sample size. But as you mentioned, 11 hits, all have been singles to St. Louis. Cardinal leadoff man is Matt Carpenter. Like to see that on base percentage at .380, as Ramirez is well off the line, and Carpenter looks at a strike.
And Segura playing up the middle for Carpenter. I'm not sure we've seen a team employ this drastic a shift for the lefty Carpenter, especially with a guy throwing 97.
Ground ball, and he beats the shift into center field, and it's a leadoff hit from Matt Carpenter.
Carpenter has been on base a ton in the last week, at least a couple of times every night, and some nights more than that. Our Plaza Tire Service replay, hitting down and through the ball, finishing his swing, and getting the desired result.
It's a slow week and a half or so to start this year for Carlos Beltran, but since that time, April 15th, he's been on a tear. Hitting .340, and right now he's 15th in the league overall at .309. 10 home runs, the 27 RBIs, and could be on his way to another All-Star appearance. The shift is on here for Beltran. Talked about it the other night with John Mozeliak. It was a week ago from this Friday night when he was in the booth, and said, is there a scenario where Beltran could come back? And he said, absolutely. It's something that is even being talked about by the front office and looking at some of those scenarios that could unfold. Beltran, can he beat the shift? It drops. A throw to first, and he is out. Carlos not going very hard down the line, and a heads-up play by Gene Segura.
What an odd play that was. Standing behind second base, and may have been able to get the lead runner at second too, but the off-balance throw, Betancourt tried to stay on the bag and finally does. He's a shortstop as well. Betancourt, his normal position, we've seen him a little fumbly around the bag. We saw him that way in Milwaukee, but able to stretch and get a Cardinal out. That was an odd looking play.
I'm not sure Beltran was running all that hard. I think he may have thought that Segura was definitely going to get the lead man, and was surprised a bit. The throw across the diamond, and now it's Matt Holliday. One out runner at second base. .268 average, the 6 homers, and 24 driven in for Matt.
That's the sensational part of Gene Segura we were talking about earlier. Not many shortstops make that play. Involved range, courage, and a good arm.
You bet. Outfield is deep for Holliday. The 1-0 pitch. Up the middle, base hit. Here comes Carpenter. The Cardinals grab the early lead. It's 1-0 St. Louis. RBI number 25 from Matt Holliday.
Peralta's gotten 3 ground balls to start this game off, but the problem from his point of view is a couple of them were hit really hard. Holliday, middle of the plate and down, but he drives the ball through the middle of the infield. Carpenter, who's been a very aggressive base runner, scoring a ton of runs this season for St. Louis, sets the table and scores.
In steps Alan Craig, who's driven in 30 on the year, and a good portion of those against this Milwaukee club. Lots of room in the left center field. And he looks at strike one. The Cardinals start play tonight 26-14. And for the Redbirds to start this year with that mark, it's the best record for a Cardinals team since 1941. That club was 31-9 at this point in the season. The 0-1 pitch taken inside.
And a little bit before our time, Dan, but that was some decade of Cardinal baseball, the 40s.
Awesome decade. And you had the 60s, great teams that you were part of in the 80s, and now this remarkable run to start the 2000s. Very short lead by Holliday at first. 1 ball, 1 strike on Craig. And he taps it foul. Matchups for this weekend. Lance Lynn tomorrow night against Marco Estrada. Lynn is 6-1. And then John Gast, his second game since being called up to make his debut. There's a look at Lance, the power pitcher that's been fantastic. And really the entire rotation has been fantastic. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Craig.
Name Billy Southworth is not a name we talk about a lot in Cardinal Nation, but a Hall of Famer recently and a player manager at first with the Cardinals, but then the manager of those teams in the 40s. In 41 they won 97 games, and the next 3 years they went on to win 105 or more games, 3 straight seasons.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Rick, for the Cardinals to do what they did against Milwaukee in Milwaukee, to sweep not only the home team but to do it in 4 games, it's just unheard of in Major League Baseball. It's such a rarity to do. Couldn't do it against the Mets yesterday, but Mike Matheny's club has played so well, and hearing you say those numbers about 100-win teams, that is so difficult to do.
No question. You're going to play a 4-game series. You're going to run into a hot pitcher one of those days, and he's going to control the outcome of that game just by the fact that he has good stuff that day.
A 3-2 runner goes, and it's a pitch taken low and in the dirt.
Our friends with the Brewers said Peralta could have a bad day, or very possibly could throw a no-hitter today because he's got that kind of stuff. So if he shows up today with that stuff, you lose. Bottom line. And what makes baseball interesting, Dan, is we can throw all the numbers that are pro-Cardinals and anti-Brewers at this series, but you still got to get it done between the white lines.
I don't know if you get this feeling, but in 2004, as they have a visit on the mound, that may have been the best team we've seen of the Cardinals in the last 10 or 15 years.
Yes.
The team that did not win the World Series against Boston. This team, not to say it's at that level, but it's starting to get that feel to it where every single time out, because of their starters, there isn't really that big gap from number 1 to number 5. These guys are all pitching at a high level, and when you get that kind of starting pitching and have a chance to win every night, special things happen.
You think about that 04 team, it was more of an offensive excitement when you think about those guys, but I think you're more apt to have a team that can pile up a high win total when your starting pitchers are rolling over time after time with quality starts. And you're right, it's just been amazing what we've seen from the Cardinals rotation. 5 guys with an ERA under 3.
The emergence of Yadier Molina last couple of years and what he's done at the plate, more than just his defense. 2 on, and here's the 1-0 pitch. Molina guides it into right for a base hit. Holiday will be held up, and the bases will be loaded for John Jay. What a nice piece of hitting. Anytime a hitter goes the other way, you just think it's a nice, very good piece of hitting.
And I think a smart move by Jose Oquendo to hold up Holiday. Here's the swing by Molina. Just guides it the other way. One hand comes off the bat. Holiday gets a decent jump, but the problem is you got a right fielder with a cannon in Aoki, and Oquendo holds him up wisely. A very strong throw came in from right field, and I don't think he'd have scored.
12 RBIs in his last 11 games. John Jay at the plate, bases loaded, chance to bust the game open here in the first. Strike 1 on Jay, who's had big numbers against Milwaukee this year. It seemed like he really got on track in that 4-game sweep against Milwaukee. That's when his batting stance was changed a bit. You see how he's holding the bat now. Much different than what we've seen in the past.
Much more upright, not laying it on his shoulder. Quicker to the ball, shorter swing, less moving parts, still some moving parts.
The 0-1 taken just a bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And he seems to be comfortable hitting in the 7th, 6th spot in the lineup. Kind of been alternating back and forth with David Freese, 6 and 7. And high number of RBIs for John Jay. Two balls and 1 strike.
From the Milwaukee perspective, you get that feeling like, uh-oh, here we go again.
Certainly the Mets, who were in town, had that feeling every game of this series, and Milwaukee really no different with their record 16-23, 9.5 games out of first place, expecting bad things to happen. That's just the way it works in this game.
The 2-1 evens it up at 2-2. Bring up a great point. John Jay moving down in the lineup. Maybe not as concerned about taking as many pitches as a leadoff man.
Yeah, it's a different kind of approach at the plate. He can think RBIs, and in this particular case, he's got to be thinking get the ball in the outfield somehow. Make contact. John Mabry has helped him out quite a bit. So has Benji Molina. But ultimately, it's up to John Jay to make those changes and make them work.
And the flip side of that, you have Carpenter, who is a guy that isn't your prototypical leadoff man, but takes a lot of pitches. The 2-2 pitch. Spoiled by Jay.
You know, it's interesting. Prototypical leadoff hitter.
What is that now, though?
I wonder if the definition of that has changed over time. Say, well, that's Lou Brock, or that's Ricky Henderson. Well, maybe it's Matt Carpenter now.
Yeah.
A guy that has a good knowledge of the strike zone, walks a lot, runs the bases well, smart, heady guy. Forget the stolen bases. Just set the table.
Seems like the stolen base has become obsolete in today's game. Bases loaded. Here's the 2-2 again to Jay. Struck him out. Pitch in on his hands. Nasty pitch.
Brewers, Dan, have been very good in the first inning of their games this year. In fact, their differential between the runs that they score in the first and the opponent score in the first has been extraordinary. Plus 24. So the Cardinals bucking the trend here in game one of this series.
How about David Freese? A chance to really come out of that slump with something positive here. Base hit, could drive in 2. Why not even more? 2 outs, bases loaded. That's fouled back as the Cardinals have talked about with David Freese. Health no longer a concern. The back feels good. Legs are solid. Right now it's just a matter of trying to get his timing back, which has been really off since opening day here in St. Louis.
And the best we've seen David Freese was against the Brewers in Milwaukee. 3 straight games of 2 hits in each one of those games. And you know, from the Brewers' point of view, there's nothing wrong with David Freese. So maybe you just need to tell David you're playing Milwaukee every day.
I'm sure he's feeling a little pressure himself with no home runs. It's hard at this level not to think about a guy like Descalso not playing, and if he does play, then where does Matt Carpenter go? Third base. So there are guys, you know, nipping at his heels, so to speak, for playing time and trying to put up numbers with everything else that's going on with him.
It always has been and always will be a results game.
1-1 pitch. Freese hits it out to center field. At the track, at the wall, #1, a grand slam. Way to come out of it, David. Grand slam, David Freese. Finally, he says, and he does it emphatically. 5-0 St. Louis. All right for David Freese.
It's a results-oriented game. And how's that for results?
Love it. You know, I know we're not supposed to be biased up here, Rick. You know that, right?
I do know that.
But I am the ultimate homer. So, having said that, I pull for David Freese. Good guy, does a lot in the community. One of the most famous home runs in the history of Cardinals baseball, and the Hyundai replay showing us his first, the grand slam, second of his career.
Well, the timing has been coming back for David. It started with him talking about being able to see the ball better, and as you say, health was not an issue. Just a matter of getting kind of the full swing down. And Mike Matheny was talking before the game about David Freese, and he said, look, this is a tough game to square up a ball every night and in just 4 at-bats to get that feel and stay on top of that feel night after night. Hitting's tough.
Lined into left center field, drops in for a hit. So the Cardinals will at least send 9 to the plate here in the bottom of the first. The relief that must be off his shoulders right now for David Freese. Way to go, David. They've already had one visit. That was among the players. So this is the first official visit for the Milwaukee Brewers. Freese's home run, his first. He's now jumped up with one swing of the bat to 8 RBIs. And remember, this time last year, he was putting up career numbers on his way to an all-star appearance. The heels of what took place in that historic 2011 season, postseason for David. Garcia hitless this year. He taps it foul.
Willie Peralta faced 11 batters in the 3rd inning on May 2nd in Milwaukee. He is facing his 9th batter here in the bottom of the 1st inning. Perfect scenario from the Cardinals' point of view. Jaime Garcia getting early support, already 5 runs.
Here's the 0-1. Make it 0-2.
Five runs and a ton of pitches.
'96. Now, one thing that has happened though with Milwaukee, their bullpen has improved some, and it really has been a point of concern all of last year for Ron Renneke. Again this season, ERA is near 2.5 the last 10 games, and it's dropped their ERA total from the bullpen about a run. Garcia grounds it to Segura. He'll step on the bag, and the inning is through. But how about one swing of the bat and a sigh of relief for a Cardinals star, David Freese, the grand slam. 5-0 St. Louis after 1. by the grand slam from David Freese. Cardinals on top 5-0. Toyota keys to the game head-to-head this season, and it seems like we've seen Milwaukee every other series, and it has been just about that. They put together a lot of offense, but not much to show for it.
Yeah, the hits are there, but they haven't come up with the big hits, and we've talked quite a bit about this Cardinal team coming up with 2-out hits and big hits late in games, and that's been the case in this series. Really not many more hits than the Brewers, just a lot more runs.
So Garcia at home, always a good thing, and given now a 5-run lead. Second inning, Aramis Ramirez, and he takes a ball high.
So David Freese right now is lighter on his feet.
You bet.
A little less tension in his neck. Can kind of walk around a little bit more comfortably. Smile a little bit more. Won't have quite so many people asking him, why don't you make this change with your batting stance? Because that's what happens too, Dan, when you're struggling. You have about 400 coaches come out of the woodwork. And that can be very difficult to be gracious to those 400 well-meaning people.
And knowing that he is a St. Louis native and hero wearing that uniform, you can only imagine the kind of advice he has gotten anywhere he goes around town.
The gas station, the grocery store.
Here's a 1-2 pitch in the dirt. David, along with Matt Holliday, Alan Craig, have teamed up for Homers for Health, and I'm sure David's happy to finally contribute to that as well. That's the effort by Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital to raise money for every home run hit. There's a swing and a miss as Ramirez strikes out. Second strikeout for Jaime Garcia.
Good movement low in the zone from Garcia, and a good spot as well. Little slider. Slider down and in. I know a lot of folks that aren't real big on that pitch. They think that that's a danger pitch, but you throw it right there. What are you going to do with that? One more look at that pitch, the slider grip from Jaime Garcia. He's going to hold it off center. A lot of balls showing. It's got side spin on it, little dot. Even if he hits that ball hard, it's foul.
Here's Carlos Gomez. And what we've seen a lot is that Garcia has thrown more sliders this year than he ever has. He's still incorporating the changeup, but not as much. But a lot of sliders. And you mentioned down and in. Well, that's what you get sometimes as Freese makes that play. Gomez can fly, but he's thrown out. But it's been ground ball after ground ball.
You're more relaxed, you're light on your feet. Then when the ball's hit to you, you're able to be smooth, come up right at the right time, make a good solid throw. Life is good right now for David Freese.
And if you'd like to sign up for Homers for Health, Glennon.org. Glennon.org to make a donation, as this is Yuniesky Betancourt.
Dan, I like that look we had, that close look of the slider grip of Garcia where you could see a lot of balls showing. And that's exactly what you do with a slider. You actually throw the outside of the ball, and it creates spin that makes it move from left to right. And so that grip and that look we had at it, to me, just really good instructional piece for young pitchers, that if you want to create a little spin on the ball, just hold it off center.
1 ball, 1 strike on Betancourt. He hits a fly ball into center. That'll stay in the ballpark. John Jay backs up, 6 up, 6 down for Jaime Garcia. Top of the lineup coming up. Cardinals on top midway through 2. One swing of the bat by Freeze. 5-0 St. Louis. StubHub. Find the seats you want and where you'd like to sit. Home and road. StubHub. They also have fan rewards this year. Great place to find your tickets. As Carpenter smokes one into center field. Gomez is there. One pitch and one away. Matt Carpenter is 1 for 2.
So much for that first inning differential for the Milwaukee Brewers. We mentioned how good they have been in the first, but off to a bad start here. Peralta, to his credit, was able to settle down in his last outing against the Cardinals. Even though he had that very bad inning, he went another 3 innings, I guess, after that and pitched much better. So he's certainly capable of doing that. Again, very good stuff, Peralta, and typically he gets a lot of ground balls. That's his MO.
Here's Beltran, who grounded out in that odd play in the first inning where Segura, we thought, may go get the lead runner. That was Carpenter at second base. Instead went across the diamond and got Beltran. They have the shift on for him.
I asked Carlos before the game, Dan, we've been noticing how often he's been swinging at the first pitch of late, and really all season. Very few walks for Beltran. He's been aggressive. Certainly the results have been good, hitting over 300. Really asked him if that's been a plan of attack for him, and he said not really. He just goes through phases where there are times where that's just the pitch to hit, and he's comfortable and he just lets it go. There's not really a rhyme or reason to it. It's not so much in his head, I'm going to be a first ball hitter tonight. It's just really reaction to something he can handle.
Off to a great start. Swings and misses, and it's 2-2. What we are seeing now in Major League Baseball, blood testing in the game, they test for steroids and the various performance enhancers, is that when you have guys get into their late 30s, now more than ever, they're showing their age. Beltran is not showing his age.
He sure isn't.
And this has become really, in many ways, lack of a better term, a young man's game again.
Well, with Beltran, Dan, if you'd have said that he'd be as available on a daily basis as he's been in 2013, you talked about his contract going forward and maybe that as a possibility. I mean, you always get the sense that, well, you need Matt Adams here in case Beltran goes down, so we could move Craig to the outfield and almost an insurance policy. But Carlos Beltran has been durable, and even coming into this season with the toe issue that he had at the World Baseball Classic, he played hurt for a while but played every day, and he seems to have played through that, and I think he just gets stronger and stronger as it's going.
Here's Holiday, 1 for 1, a single and a run scored back in the first, and the numbers since April 15th would coincide with what you're talking about with Carlos. There's a grounder, a hit to short, and the Cardinals go 1-2-3. We play 2 here at Busch Stadium. Weeks, Maldonado, Peralta due up when we come back. Celebrating 11 years with new low yearly prices. Every out-of-market game is live on over 350 supported mobile and connected devices, all in HD quality. Sign up MLB.tv. Third inning rolls in for Jaime Garcia. So far, so good. He struck out 2, 3 ground ball outs, and a long fly ball out off the bat of Betancourt. There's Ricky Weeks, who's had a little success against Garcia in his career, in particular with walks. He has walked 6 times against the lefty. Freese is on the line at third, and the first pitch is taken for a ball.
We talked about the struggling year offensively of David Freese, but that has been even more the case with Ricky Weeks. And last year he had the same problem, but they stuck with him, and he turned in some pretty good power numbers.
I've always liked him. Second baseman that can hit for the kind of power that he does, and really it's been a matter of him staying healthy, staying on the field. He's had a couple of very tough, long, arduous injuries to get back.
Two guys could probably have a pretty lengthy conversation about how to fight through some adversity. Weeks strikes out a lot, but what he gives you is a dangerous at bat. If you're on the mound and you're Jaime Garcia, you're thinking, okay, Ricky Weeks, I know we can hit the ball a long way. I better be careful. And sometimes that has value that goes past the numbers.
Here's 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. 2-2. Cardinals, the moves they have made this year. Subchinski going down and Boggs being sent down. And ever since that time, the team really took off.
Very good timing.
It's sharply. Freese is there with the backhand and makes the play. Positioned perfectly for this at bat, and also the one with Gomez. He was also in but near the line. 1 away.
You mentioned those moves, and there'll be other moves down the road, and will they be done at the right time? Who knows? But at some point, the Cardinals are going to have some decisions to make. John Buch on the left, John Mozeliak on the right, on how to handle this pitching staff going forward. You've got Boggs and Zepchinski starting to pitch better in AAA. Are they ever going to be in the picture again? You've got Chris Carpenter, who's been throwing. Where does he fit in and when? John Gast came up, has been phenomenal in AAA, gets a win in his first big league start. You've got 2 guys out in that bullpen who are starters, Seth Maness and Carlos Martinez. Not even mentioning Joe Kelly, and I'm kind of running out of names here, but the biggest name that I'm working towards is Michael Wacha. I don't know how much longer Michael Wacha needs to be or should be a minor league player. But where does he go?
Right. Sensational in spring, off to a tremendous start at AAA. Off the end of the bat, into left center. Holiday comes in a few steps. And there's 2 outs. Well, we're talking about guys that take to the mound and maybe have issues at times. The Twitter poll, which struggling pitcher is the biggest surprise? Presented by AT&T. So you do not want to be on this list. Kane, Price, who's now on the DL. Hudson, earlier this year, picked up win number 200. R.A. Dickey won this past week. But some pretty big names. Some Cy Young Award winners on there that have gotten off to slow starts.
Am I allowed to vote on that?
Absolutely.
Should I wait?
No.
Matt Cain's my vote. Matt Cain, to me, is just a very, very top echelon type pitcher, and his ERA is in the mid 5s. And numbers are as bad as anybody's on that list, but I think he's as good as anybody on that list, even though maybe a bit underrated. So he's my choice, especially
to
pitching in San Francisco.
Right, Pitcher's Park. Here's a grounder that is hit to short. And it's another 1-2-3 inning for the lefty Garcia. Craig, Molina, Jay coming up. Having some fun here at the ballpark. Sports Midwest is brought to you by Schnucks, your neighborhood hometown grocer. The St. Louis Cardinals, highlighted by the David Freese grand slam, have a lead of 5 runs. They've got 5 hits tonight. 5-0 is our score here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis as the Cardinals are looking for win number 27. The young season. They haven't even gotten to Memorial Day and looking at win number 27. Isn't that something? Nice look at the concourse here at Busch Stadium. A little different than the old ballpark, spacious.
And plenty to do here at the ballpark, too. All kinds of fun little nooks and crannies. Nice places to grab some food, all with a Cardinal flavor to it. The Gas House Grill featured here. And a wonderful place to bring your family.
Temperatures have been ideal on this homestand. We know, though, those of you that have been from the Midwest or
it's
St.
coming.
Louis, it's only a matter of time. The heat will be here.
I still marvel at looking at the old video of a big game for Bob Gibson or Cardinal pitcher of the 60s or 70s, and you look at all the fans wearing hats and coats and ties.
How about some of that old World Series footage that you see? Here's Alan Craig at the plate, but that's what you're talking about. Well, if you have a seat, you're lucky enough to come to the ballpark, you get a seat that has a cup holder or a shoe holder.
Look at that. Fits like a glove. Or like a shoe. See, that is the ingenuity of a mom. Moms everywhere know how to make things work.
Long throw. Segura throws it into the dugout. That'll be a base hit and an error on Gene Segura. So Alan Craig, leadoff base hit to start the home half of the third.
What did we talk about earlier? Range, courage, and an arm. Well,
that was pretty much all of it right there.
We had all those, but I guess I should have added accuracy to that list. There's the range, the courage, the arm strength, and the airmail throw. I'd much rather have a shortstop behind me that is willing to try to make that play, though.
And you had one of the best in
Oh,
Ozzie.
my.
Here's Molina with a runner at second base. That's Craig. Is that a foul ball or not? And they're going to say that is a live baseball. And the reaction of the catcher may have sold it in that direction, as he didn't hesitate to go get that ball. And so advancing on it, it's Alan Craig. Even here at the ballpark, you heard the Oregon, and everybody started thinking that was a strike one.
Sure looked like a foul tip in everything other than Maldonado's reaction. Home plate umpire didn't make a call initially, and it's going to end up being a pass ball, but clearly Maldonado was crossed up, and that's why he didn't get his glove up or keep it up. He was expecting this ball to break, and it just fools him. He's thinking down, and by the time he gets his glove up, it's too late. So he went out to talk to his pitcher, talk through the signals one more time, and that could be a costly mistake.
Molina with a base hit to right, first time up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Big Cardinal fan Rich Jankowski enjoying Cardinals baseball tonight on Fox Sports Midwest. A couple of pitches have been up here with Yachty, and he's gone after him.
So Peralta, who struggles with his emotions when things start to go bad, as most young pitchers do, might be having one of those moments here he's going to have to overcome. Infield single, error by a shortstop, pass ball. Now all of a sudden I'm dealing with a guy on third base. How do you mentally push past that and try to figure out a way to get this guy out, which is hard enough.
Big gap in left center. Up and in to Yachty.
He wanted it up, and he got it up.
Molina chops it towards the middle, and Craig stayed put. It seemed to be a ball that he could have scored on, and I'm sure in retrospect wishes he did.
Well, with the infield in, your general rule of thumb is I'm going to go if it gets through the infield. But there's certainly certain balls that are hit where you can score anyway, and the high chopper's one of them. And that ball hit up the middle would have been an impossible play, I would think, for Weeks to make a play at the plate. So there's no question it would have been safe. But once he did not read it that way off the bat, again, you got to make sure it's by the pitcher too. And once you read it wrong, don't compound the mistake by getting a late jump.
And here is John Jay. Came up with the bases loaded in the first inning and struck out. 0 for 1. Here's the 0-1 to Jay. Slaps it the other way, and adding to this RBI total that is becoming very big against the Milwaukee Brewers. Overall, RBI number 21 for John Jay, and out of the 21 RBIs, a bunch have been against Milwaukee. This is updated now. BJC Healthcare difference maker. Look at these guys and what they've done. 8 games and all the RBIs from these 3.
Those are big numbers, clearly, for those 3 in the middle of this Cardinals lineup. Really, RBIs have not been a problem for the Cardinals up and down the lineup. They've been very, very consistent in handling RBI situations, runners in scoring position. It's really been the trademark of this team. And David Freese, now we're getting excited about watching him come to the plate every single time.
And the near home run this past week, the ball down the right field line. And then there was no doubt what he did in the first inning with a grand slam.
Yeah, if he can keep going in a positive direction from the right side of the plate, I think all the talk about the Cardinals struggling against left-handed pitching is going to change.
Sure.
He can be a neutralizer.
Here's the 0-1. So David Freese, it's not been just with the bat tonight, but a couple of good plays defensively. And this is the grand slam back in the first. His first of the season. Second career grand slam for number 23.
I think he's hit a ball there before.
A little bit to the right of that.
Can we call that? Oh, we've got Big Mac land. Can we call it like Freeze Land or something? Something like that. You got a better name, Dan? I'm sure you've thought about this.
I'm always thinking of marketing possibilities. You know, it was interesting. He's putting together a video that'll be used for the Cardinals and their young players. And one of the highlights, this is for minor league players, but one of the highlights is David Freese's home run from Game 6. And John Mozeliak and his staff saw it. The first words out of their mouth, both individuals that were in this room, you know what, I never get sick of watching that home run. And you do pick up little things, all the different camera angles that we've been given since that time. The reaction of the bench and the fans, just awesome. So Freese strikes out. Peralta afterwards checking on the mound.
Actually slipped on that pitch. A little aggravated by it, but the result was good.
It's taken low and away by Pete Kozma.
Really has a violent finish to his delivery, doesn't he? He got over on his ankle on that strikeout to Freese, but he is really finishing hard off to the first base side after his delivery.
Peralta with 2 strikeouts tonight, And a 1-0 pitch to Pete Kozma. Taken high, 2-0 with Garcia on deck, 2 down, and a runner at first.
A lot of talk in the papers around St. Louis about pitch count over the last couple of days. A lot of Cardinal starters have got the elevated pitch count, and Tony La Russa made a very interesting point, I think, in one of the articles where he talked about pitchers today. Most of them are maximum effort pitches. So you're going to throw 100 like Peralta's throwing that one, as opposed to feeling your way through your start, taking more off, throwing some pitches at 80%, which used to be more the norm. But now pitching, because of the high level of competition and the guys wanting to spin the gun as fast as they can, these are all maximum effort. They're stronger guys. So you throw 100 pitches now, it's not the same, perhaps, as 100 pitches 30 years ago.
Valid point. I don't know about you. I personally like seeing guys go deeper into these games. I mean,
sure.
Lance Lynn, it's kind of been his MO even back at Ole Miss. He was a power pitcher, would go deep into games. But what they've done with Shelby Miller, Wainwright going deep. I think if you ask the starters, we have, they say, I do enjoy that. That's something that I want to do, is get deeper into games because I feel stronger along the way.
Well, and you're going to be pitching those pitches 90 to 110. You're really going to have to be pitching. You learn a lot about yourself at pitches 90 to 110.
Pickoff and back safely.
And even beyond that, Dan, when you're having a bad start, you can throw 40 pitches and your arm could be killing you the next day because your arm is in the wrong spot.
Or maybe you have a landing area that you can't get familiar with, and we've seen that a lot.
That's the violent follow through of Peralta.
Runner will go on this pitch, the 3-2, and a strikeout of Kozma. So back-to-back Ks to end the third. Cardinals, though, pick up a run, lead it by 6. WWE superstars will be here this weekend. Now tomorrow you have to make sure and get here early. If you follow the WWE, Hall of Famer Mick Foley will be here. Also the Divas, the Bella Twins. I'm asking them personally to get Rick on the top buckle and maybe just bench press you and throw you down. That would be perfect.
Can we go as a little tag team, maybe, Dan?
No,
you and I? No?
I've got work to do up here.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'll let you go out there at 4:45.
I'll get Hungo out there, the two of us.
Now that would be scary. The Horton The Horton-Rabowski WWE tandem.
Hey, and we know there are a lot of wrestling fans in St. Louis. We know how big that is in the community. So you're going to have a chance to meet some WWE superstars at the ballpark. So you're not going to want to miss this. Come on out. You're going to get a chance to meet them, get autographs.
Well, how about this? It's a free event. Begins tomorrow at 4:45. It'll last until the start of the game. Here's Aoki, 1 ball and 1 strike. So you get autographs, photos. That's in the Ford Plaza prior to the game tomorrow. And Chris Jericho, really one of the superstars of the WWE, he'll throw out a ceremonial first pitch on Sunday. So nice way to do it. Take in the WWE and then take in a little baseball, and then Rick and Al, the new tandem on the WWE. Tough play here. Aoki rolls it. Get foul. It will. Only play for Garcia was to let that roll.
Smart play by Garcia. And Dan, bad news for you. I'm actually going to be at a very special place tomorrow watching my son graduate from the University of Missouri. Very proud of that. It'll be an exciting day. So I am nominating Jim Hayes and Al Rabowski to be the tag team.
You already
duo.
have the nicknames. You got the Cat and
Cat
the Mad Hungarian. So you got Hungo.
Right off the lip. Garcia lets it go foul. Smart play.
So again, that's at 4:45 tomorrow, Ford Plaza, and a chance to meet those superstars for autographs and pictures. And it's a 6:15 baseball game tomorrow. 4:45, a chance to meet the Divas and Mick Foley. You, of course, were a big fan of Wrestling at the Chase.
How could you not like it?
It's tapped foul. Rick would probably wake up on Sunday morning, go out, get some donuts for the family, come back home, flip on Channel 11 and Wrestling at the Chase. Or not. 2-2 here on Aoki. He spoils that pitch on the black on the outside corner. May surprise many, as Rick and I were looking at the splits for Jaime Garcia. Statistically, he actually has pitched better on the road this season than at home. And a clean base hit through the left side, and the first hit for Milwaukee tonight.
There'd been so much about Jaime Garcia pitching better at home and struggling on the road, not having the right kind of routine. But this year he's got good splits and a very typical Aoki single, just guiding it through the left side, classic style. And he's really been a good find for them. When I first saw Aoki in Milwaukee a season ago, I didn't think he was going to be able to compete at this level. Looked like he could knock the bat right out of his hands. He was late on everything. He was struggling. He was really struggling, but he figured it out, and now he's a big asset for Milwaukee. And really, Dan, this lineup, they should be winning more games with this lineup. The pitching,
I don't think there's any doubt.
Pitching clearly the problem.
0-1 pitch to Segura, make it 0-2. Gene Segura, this young shortstop, 23 years of age, was picked up by Milwaukee in the Zach Greinke deal. So you're Jerry DiPoto, you've signed Albert Pujols, you've got Josh Hamilton, and you've traded away Segura. Could be a cornerstone player for many years for Milwaukee. Kyle Loesch, the former Cardinal who was signed late in spring training, will pitch Sunday here at Busch Stadium. Brewers talk about Segura as being one of the reasons why they nearly snuck into the playoffs a year ago. Really gave the franchise and their lineup a spark. As you mentioned, he plays with a lot of flash, and He is just an outstanding young talent. They've already talked about trying to lock him up already long term if they can. Segura lines it foul.
I've heard people talking about this Milwaukee team as being a team that has a number of high performers, and then there's just a lot of other outs. And I thought of Dan Quisenberry. He taught us all how to play bridge when he was a Cardinal, and he used to say there's sometimes you get these hands, and he'd call them aces and spaces, where you'd have a hand with aces in it, and you'd say, oh, I got a good hand, but that's all you got. And so I think the Brewers may be an aces and spaces kind of offense. You get to the bottom of the lineup and really not much punch.
Ground ball, and Craig will go to second. High throw there with Segura's speed. No chance to get the double play. Well, the Blues and Fox Sports Midwest are teaming up for the Coleman St. Louis Race for the Cure. It'll be on Saturday, June 15th. For more information and to join the Blues and Fox Sports Midwest, head to stlouisblues.com. We have a huge Cardinal fan that is recovering in St. Anthony's Hospital tonight by the name of Kurt Haynes. And Kurt, want to let you know that we're all thinking about you and miss you down here at the ballpark. We'll see you very soon. That is Kurt Haynes, who's watching the ball game tonight from St. Anthony's. As Braun takes a ball low and away. One out, runner at first, and Ryan Braun is off to a terrific start in his career, and in many ways a historic start. Looking at some of the numbers and where he's situated in the history of baseball. Brewers had success in going at Braun early, locking him up, giving him a long-term contract, and then he was so good they did it again. Hard to think that he would finish up his career anywhere else. And against left-handed pitching, he has crushed it in his career. .348 average.
Bears repeating that Jaime Garcia has pitched pretty well to him, though, in his starts against the Brewers. And again, this is a guy you need to contain. Every time you get to this spot in the lineup, you start thinking, okay, they could start to break something open here. They could pick up a couple of runs very quickly with Braun and Ramirez.
Here's a 2-0 pitch to Braun. Think about this, Rick, since he's come into the league. .300 average, over 200 home runs, 600 plus RBIs through his first 7 seasons. He is the 15th to do that. And of those 15, 8 are in the Hall of Fame, and it's a who's who of Hall of Famers. Ted Williams, DiMaggio, Aaron, Mays, Mantle, Frank Robinson. And of the 6 guys that aren't in the Hall of Fame, there are 3 that are still active, Pujols being one of them, Miguel Cabrera and Todd Helton. And then you have 3 recently retired players, Piazza, Frank Thomas, and Vladimir Guerrero. That's how good his start to his career has been. And he looks at a pitch inside.
Those are big names.
Woo. One out and runners at first and second for Aramis Ramirez. Outfield is straight away and deep. Garcia would love that ground ball here. Remember, this is a lineup too that you talk about being so potent and missing Corey Hart. He's been a very solid player over the years for Milwaukee. 2 balls and no strikes.
And Corey Hart, one of those guys that has had very good numbers against Garcia and also against the Cardinals. Corey Hart kind of has a awkward swing in some ways. He runs a little awkward. He throws a little awkward, but he's just such a good player. Brewers certainly miss him, and there's certainly some hope for him to come back, and there's a kind of a timetable in place for him. He's on a 60-day DL.
2-1. The splits for Garcia: 3-1 on the road, 1-1 at home. And his ERA is better on the road. Opponents average a little bit better on the road. So in all, that's a positive for the Cardinals because of just the disparity from home and road marks previous years. And now he falls behind Ramirez, and this is where you're asking for trouble.
Well, this is the other question in the past for Jaime Garcia, is how does he handle a little adversity? And again, all young pitchers have to work through what their go-to pitch is, what their out pitch is, their finishing pitch when trouble starts. And it's not that simple to figure that out.
In the air out to deep left. Holiday is back. He'll look up, and all of a sudden we have a ball game. Home run Ramirez, a 3-run shot, and it's 6-3. Ramirez, his second of the season. He's jumped up to 9 RBIs. There's a look at the home run ball. That got out in a hurry. A line shot off the bat. The Brewers' third baseman.
Well, it just barely gets out, but certainly well hit. You're behind in the count. You just want to try to throw a strike. Ramirez, his 31st career home run against the Cardinals. That's a pretty nice season he's had. And just like his last outing against the Rockies, a 3-run home run off of Jaime Garcia. There's Tulowitzki on Sunday in the 3rd inning, and it's Aramis Ramirez today in the 4th.
Most career home runs against St. Louis. Berkman now with Texas, Dunn now with the White Sox. Aramis Ramirez. How about Todd Help? And you think about Help not playing in the Central Division, all those home runs against St. Louis. As Garcia really took something off that pitch to pick up the strikeout number 3 tonight. Betancourt will be the hitter. Flied out to center, and he's 0 for 1 tonight. Liner and caught at second base. Aramis Ramirez gets Milwaukee on the board with a 3-run shot. 6-3. Ramirez gets Milwaukee on the board with a 3-run homer. Ramirez his second this year. 374 feet, the measured distance of the home run, just sneaking over the wall. And then the bullpen, well, nothing else to do, so get the broom out and retrieve that souvenir. That's Henderson, their closer.
Cardinals thought they were going to be able to use that broom against the Mets, but unfortunately the Mets picked up a victory in the last game of that series. The Cardinals took 2 out of 3 from Colorado, so it's been a good homestand so far for St. Louis.
Charter high-speed pitches of the game. Garcia and Willie Peralta. Peralta, as Rick mentioned, a hard thrower, 97. Garcia, pretty typical, right at the 90-91 mark. Tonight it's at 90, the top pitch for Jaime Garcia.
There were certain coaches in the minor leagues, and I'm sure there's still some out there, that refuse to let the pitchers know how fast they're throwing. And in some minor league parks, it's a lot easier than the big league parks because that high speed has just become such a part of the game, and it's on the board, and we all see it. But there are times where the coaches would say, look, I don't want you thinking about that. I want you pitching. If you're thinking about how fast you're throwing, it's hard for me to teach you how to pitch correctly.
Garcia shoots it into left center field. Braun on the move and makes a basket catch, lunging for it, and puts it away for the out. Remember, Ryan Braun, originally drafted as an infielder. He had played shortstop and third base, and they said at times defensively it was disastrous on the infield, so he moves to left and he's become, you know, perfectly fine out there.
I'd say he's fine plus in left field.
I agree.
And as a third baseman, he was fine minus. Maybe 2 or 3 ticks. He made a lot of errors at third base. We saw him play some there at big league level, and there's still times where he makes some awkward catches in left field, and that would have been one of them. I mean, I can't imagine Willie Mays making a basket catch on the run. Kind of what Willie Mays was known for. Actually, glad I had a chance to watch him play a couple of times at the end of his career.
Unfortunately, though, for you, it was at the tail end, and really you didn't see the true Willie Mays.
No, but you could still see the style and the flair. In fact, I saw him play against Clemente. And talk about style and flair.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Matt Carpenter sees just about 5 pitches per at bat, which is 14th in the National League in that category. Bring that up when you're a leadoff man. The average is actually just over 3 among any hitters. So you're seeing a guy take more pitches. He's told me that he prefers to hit deeper in a count anyway, so he's got it at 2-2.
You have to be pretty secure as a hitter to say that you prefer to hit deeper in the count. Secure that you're not going to strike out a lot.
Slap the other way. Is he thinking 2? Makes the turn around first. Braun misplays it out and left, just like we said, plus defender. And Carpenter in at third. Well, right on cue, Ryan Braun making us look like geniuses.
Oh, he just went from average plus to average minus on one particular play, but Matt Carpenter in his 5th pitch of the at-bat, right on cue, takes the ball the other way, not afraid to hit deep into a count. And there's Ryan Braun.
So it's a double and an error on Braun. Infield in for Beltran. Fouled back and again swinging at that first pitch. Inside, nice play by Maldonado to somehow keep that in front, and it saves a run.
Just pulls this across his body. That's a tough play, and Maldonado being able to square up. You know, he got a lot of help from Yadier Molina. Really, Molina's kind of his idol in a lot of ways. The two played together in the World Baseball Classic. He was the backup catcher for Molina, and if you're around Yadi for any period of time, you're going to learn something about catching.
Also, these two are teammates, Beltran and Martin Maldonado. They've had Carlos out in front a couple of times with the off-speed pitch, 1 and 2. What a career it's been for the Cardinal right fielder.
Psychologically, this run means something here, Dan. 6-3 is the score. But after a 3-run top of the 4th inning, you'd like to start getting some of it back and pad that lead right away. And psychologically, I think it would do a lot for the Cardinals if Beltran can get Carpenter home.
And he swings and misses. Big strikeout for Peralta. And that is number 4 tonight for Willie Peralta.
Late break out in front of it a bit.
Holiday with an RBI, run scored, base hit. That was back in the first. He's also grounded out to short. Big gap in left center. So as Holiday goes, so go the St. Louis Cardinals. The difference, the losses with his average, so a lot of production. They count on Matt Holiday.
Interesting stat there, that
very much
his
so.
average is 163 in the team's losses, and his home runs often make a big difference. And he hasn't hit any cheap home runs this year either.
Lines it right center. Aoki can't get it. Drops it for a hit. 2 out. RBI base hit for a Holiday. Playing awfully deep in right field and a long way to go. Carpenter scores the 7th run of the night for St. Louis.
Aoki is a very good right fielder, but he just seemed like he got a awkward jump and a late jump and also pulled up a bit on that ball. And I wonder whether it was just him playing too deep or just not seeing the ball and reading the ball very well off the bat. Holiday was jammed on that, and with that kind of an inside-out swing, you almost have to assume to be coming in, and again, a bit of a late jump. That ball was in the air a long time not to be caught.
So it's a 2-out RBI base hit. A little bigger lead this time for Holiday at first, and that's driven into left center field. Holiday off to the races. Gomez, though, able to cut it off, and Holiday is held up at third. Extremely good play with the plus speed of their center fielder Gomez to make sure that that was cut off before it got through, because if it does, it's 8-3. And Holiday was thinking about scoring all the way from first. He was trucking along.
Holiday running hard. There's Gomez. Gomez knows if he doesn't get it, Holiday's going to score. He thinks about throwing on the run, but then he plants his foot wisely and hits the cutoff man wisely. And Jose Oquendo holds up Holiday. Very good play by Gomez. That was an impressive kind of combination of good sense and speed and a good jump by the Brewers center fielder.
Single on the first, a run scored, hitting .400 with runners in scoring position. Yadier Molina. Big crowd on this Friday night. Ready to explode again.
We've talked about how good a defensive player Braun has become and how good Segura is, and they both have errors. Who can we talk about now?
Put the jinx on, huh? Yachty slowly hit to Ramirez. And he makes the play. Cardinals will strand 2, but they pick up a 2-out RBI single from Holiday. 7-3 St. Louis. On Friday, May 31st, it's the kickoff to the kids' summer, and it's presented by Ritz. And also, there's a mystery Rawlings bat. They enter the gates that night. Fireworks afterwards. Presented by Cooper Tires. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Matt Holliday, part of this 10-hit attack by St. Louis tonight. Garcia's given up 2 hits, and both were last inning.
And Holiday with another 2-out hit, another hit with runners in scoring position, another RBI that matters. And I do like, Dan, psychologically again, difference between 6-3, 7-3 may be negligible, but I think getting back on the board right away after that 3-run 4th inning, good for Garcia and good for the Cardinals.
Strike to Ricky Weeks underway here in the top of the 5th. Weeks has grounded out sharply to third, and quickly it's 0-2. Cardinals in the series against the Mets able to give Yadier Molina at least 1 day to rest, and he is piling up the innings. The 0-2. Ricky is on pace for over 1,300 innings from the catcher's spot, as you see Tony Cruz visiting there with Oquendo, and I'm sure the Cardinals are keeping a close eye on the workload of Yadier Molina. Goes down to get it and flies out to Holiday. The thing is, the Cardinals will go to Yachty, and Molina will say, well, Montero in Arizona, he has this many innings caught, or he's at this level of games played, and I want to be number 1. And they put a lot of trust in Yachty being honest with the staff to play every day.
Tony Cruz not getting a lot of at-bats as a result of that. Mike Matheny saying just 2 days ago that he'd finally seen an at-bat in a particular pitch sequence where he thought there was a glimmer of Yachty being a little tired and needing a break. He said he has been watching him very carefully, so yes, they trust Yachty, but I think Mike Matheny trusts his own judgment to an extraordinarily high level because he knows what it's like to do that job, and he knows the signs, the danger signs of a catcher getting weary, and he watches him like a hawk.
To Molina's credit, remember a few years ago, back-to-back seasons dealing with some knee issues. So he has come in this season best shape of his career. That'll be a foul ball.
Well, that's
down the right field line.
That's a big part of it. You mentioned Carlos Beltran is not playing like an old man, and you really couldn't fault him for doing that. But Yadier Molina has been behind the plate for an awful lot of innings in his life, and it's hard to be a catcher for a long time. And the fitness level that he's attained with the offseason workouts that he went through, I think is helping him,
no doubt,
pick up all those innings. And will pay dividends later in the season. And that's really what you worry about, Dan. It's not now. You worry about September, late August. Are they drained? Are they tired then?
2-2 the count on Maldonado. Looks at a called third strike. Strikeout number 4 for Garcia as Martin Maldonado has words with our home plate umpire, Chris Conroy. Say good morning to the new egg white Delight McMuffin. 8 grams of whole grain and just 250 calories at McDonald's. Willie Peralta at the plate. 2 down, nobody on. I was shocked when I got to spring training and saw Molina and just how good a shape he had gotten himself into. He is slimmed down, and it's really just a completely different looking body than the one that we saw when he first came up and was splitting time at that point in his career with Mike Matheny. He's become such a weapon at the plate. You have to keep him fresh and keep that aspect of his game in mind too.
And let's not confuse that with saying that he's slim. That's not the word we're talking about. He's fit is what he is. And you have to be built in this game for strength. It's not just the weight itself. It's do you have kind of the muscle endurance necessary to play 162 games over 6 months.
This is popped up. Playable. Craig is there. One of the best we've ever seen, Yadier Molina. It's 7-3 St. Louis. We move to the home half of the 5th. And don't forget, we're on the air tomorrow at 5:30. 6:15 with the first pitch. Marco Estrada. Marco Estrada, the right-hander, getting the start. Budweiser, what's on tap? And again, if you're coming down to the ballpark, make sure you get here early. 4:45 for the WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley and the WWE Divas, the Bella Twins, out in the Plaza, Ford Plaza. Tomorrow at 4:45, they'll be taking pictures and signing autographs. They're in town for an event on Sunday at Scott Trade Center. Looks like that man could be part of the events on Sunday. He's got a little look at that WWE to him.
There's that look.
Guy in the green right there does too. He looked like a devastating fella. He got between the ropes. All right, here is John Jay.
And speaking of Al Raboski, he's going to be on the postgame show today.
Hungo's on the postgame, and there's a strike on the outside corner.
I don't know if you caught in the pregame. He gave one of those WWE type looks on the pregame. And you've seen that look, I know.
Oh, I have. The amazing thing, too, Rick, majority of the time it's off air, and usually it's something I've done to him.
He probably deserved it.
I did. Here's a 1-1 to Jay. High fly ball into center field. And there's one away. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Just joining us, let's get you caught up, is David Freese, part of this 10-hit attack. And he has had the last 2 Cardinals grand slams. Keith Oberman and Dan Martinez in our truck telling us that David has hit the last 2.
And multiple names being offered on Twitter for that grassy area in center field. Deep freeze. The freeze zone. The freezer.
Tommy, our director, saying freeze fairway.
That also on Twitter.
Any Twitter account is
here's one, the Arctic freeze zone.
What is your handle?
I know you know it by heart, Dan, but it's Ricky H49, and yours is Danny Mac TV.
Danny Mac TV and Ricky H49 to tweet at us with all those nice comments that we always give.
Freeze landing is another.
I like that.
I like that one too.
Strikeout number 5 for Peralta. It brings in Pete Kozma. Kozma, a base hit early on. And lines it into center field for a 2-out hit.
Dan, we're basically at the quarter pole of this season, and you were talking about the 2004 Cardinals and just how good they were, and maybe the best team that we can think of. There's a freeze of the shot to center for Kozma. But I think if you try to define this team, and we went to the starting pitching, but I just think balance is still the word that comes to mind for this Cardinal team. There's not really a big wow factor on this team. There's not a guy that's your 45 home run guy necessarily. Could be, but it's really just a balanced hitting attack. A very mistake-free fielding presence without a lot of range necessarily from the fielders, and the pitching has been very good. So it's kind of this balanced approach, which I think works better in the long run than if you've got the MV3, let's say. You got 3 guys, you just, well, boy, that's a good team because of Pujols and Roland and Edmonds. This is a good team because of, I don't know where to start.
I was thinking MV3. The 3 things that define that team. MV3, probably first and foremost. If you really want to break it down defensively, they were spectacular. I mean, Pujols was awesome. Roland, one of the best we've ever seen. You had Renteria at short. Mike Matheny was part of that team. Edmonds at center. I mean, you're talking about great players defensively. And then that starting rotation. just never missed a start, and they got innings out of guys, and you know that fit the piece of what you need over the 6 months. A Suppan would pile up a lot of innings. Marquis gave you some innings. You know, those kind of players came to mind.
Take any Cardinal winning team in its history, in the World Championship teams, and you can take 5 words or less to define them in their excellence. And I think this team is harder to do right now. Now that may change over time, and it may develop into, yes, these 3 guys have made this team happen, but I don't really see that yet.
Yeah. And maybe it hasn't defined itself to the point that we're going to see it at either.
Could be.
The 2-2 pitch. I also think that if you're John Mozeliak, you're in a great position, but you're also in a tough position. Meaning, a championship team may be coming together right now, but also your club, when you think about the financial aspect of things and young players that could be impactful players that aren't necessarily in baseball terms expensive, you want to give up those chips, so to speak, to get a high salary guy that may put you over the top this year. You know, the short term and the long term.
We'll find out.
Yep.
That is not my decision.
He's been creative. He's one of the best in baseball. 7-3 St. Louis. Cardinals are winning, and winning a lot during this homestand. Already a lot of money off on future games. You'll save $3 off pavilion level tickets June 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's against the Diamondbacks, and this could lead to a discount as high as $18 if they win this weekend and have a sweep. Cardinals currently 3-1 during this promotion. So how high will this discount go? Visit Cardinals.com/win. Cardinals.com/win.
Dan, Cardinals are 19-6 during this promotion over the last 3 years. So I think we might want to consider doing it a little more often. What do you think?
I like it.
Let's just give every ticket away.
And tonight the giveaway was the U.S. Cellular adult cap. Nice looking cap handed out.
Did you get yours?
I have, yes. Do you need one?
I was wondering where mine was.
That's a fair ball inside the first base line off the bat of Aoki.
So there they are.
So a leadoff double, by the way. You mentioned it. We kind of glossed over it. Congratulations to you and your wife Ann on your son graduating college tomorrow. What an achievement.
Pretty exciting about that. Very nice day. There's a ball just fair down the right field line. Aoki picked up his second hit of the night. And here we get to that dangerous part of the lineup again for Jaime Garcia.
Gene Segura I'm assuming, Rick, that you and Ann are at this point doing backflips because your son and daughter are off the payroll.
Oh, and parents everywhere are fully understanding what you're talking about. Although it's never quite 100%. Let's just say it gets better. As folks my age like to say, you get a raise overnight.
Two balls and no strikes. 7-3 the lead for St. Louis. Near the top of the 6th. That pitch was up and swung on and missed by Segura. On the outside corner. That pitch at 79.
Took something off of that pitch. 79 miles an hour. Very good location.
Got him to reach. Tough play here. Cosma quickly to first. Safe. Beat it out. He can fly. So a base hit, and here we go.
The Brewers have had a very high number of infield hits this season. It's really something that has marked this team. Segura just picked up his 15th to lead all of baseball. 15 infield hits. Aoki has 12, and Carlos Gomez has 8. So this team runs well. Infielders have to be ready. Cosmo was ready for that particular throw. Did everything he could.
So now it is Braun. Cardinals asking for trouble here. Runners at the corners. The pitch taken in the dirt. Segura advancing. Ball scooted away from Yachty. So runners at second and third. Nobody out. Braun tonight is grounded out to short and then walked and scored on the home run by Ramirez. Outfield is deep, and here's a 1-0. Little hesitation from Yachty, expecting that to be called a strike. 2 balls and no strikes. That pitch looked pretty good there from Garcia. This is where you get a little worried. Activity now in the Cardinals bullpen. Right-hander begins to throw. The 2-0 to Braun. In the dirt, 3-0, and you've got Ramirez, who is homered, on deck.
You know, Dan, there are times where an umpire, like a catcher and like a hitter, is actually fooled on a pitch. They may be looking and thinking that it's a fastball or a sinker or a slider, and in that little split second that they've got to determine whether or not that's a strike or not, their judgment may be thrown off a bit because the pitch doesn't do what they think it's going to do. That happens more often than you think.
3-1. Seth Maness, he's been a good luck charm, hasn't he, out of that bullpen?
You know, Al's giving him a nickname. He's the Vulture. Doesn't seem to fit his personality.
No.
But he is 3-0 in a hurry.
And from 3-0 in the count, it's now 3-2. Can he put him away? Just got a piece.
Only 4 hits for the Brewers, but they bunched them. Really what happened to Garcia in his last start. Gave up 5 runs, but really only trouble in 2 different innings.
The 3-2 and a strikeout of Braun. He comes back to get him, and maybe that is the key point in this game. Who knows? Look back at that, as it was 3-0. They let Braun swing away on that pitch, and then he really took something off the 3-2 delivery here.
Gets him to chase. Breaking pitch down. Braun reads it as a fastball.
What a big strikeout that is.
Oh, you bet. 5 for Garcia. None bigger.
Now it's Ramirez, who was struck out, also homered. It was a 3-run shot back in the 4th. 2nd and 3rd, now 1 out. And a high fly ball lifted into left center field. He has done it again. Single-handedly, Aramis Ramirez has brought the Brewers back into this game. His 2nd 3-run homer. My goodness. And it's 7-6.
We talked in the open about Garcia needing to control Braun and Ramirez. And basically he's 1 for 2 in that endeavor. But Aramis Ramirez has gotten the best of Jaime Garcia here tonight. A couple of 3-run shots. And again, the Brewers bunching their hits in their base runners in the 4th inning and in the 6th inning. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th innings. 1, 2, 3 innings for Garcia.
Tell you what, you've got to give Ramirez all kinds of credit. Here is Carlos Gomez and the 1-0 pitch. And I say that because when he first came up and was on the scene with Pittsburgh, you watched a player that, from our perspective, looked to be disinterested, didn't seem to be in the shape that he's in right now, and he has had one heck of a career. So I give him all the credit in the world. He's made himself obviously into a very, very good player. Gomez taps it foul. It didn't seem that way to you. I mean,
there's no question, and that was really his reputation.
Didn't move well
early on, and he played in Pittsburgh and Chicago, and that was really his MO. Was a guy that just seemed disinterested. And you know, he does have kind of still a very relaxed style the way he plays, which a lot of baseball players do. It's just kind of his way to get himself focused and not overly amped up physically, which I think can really hurt a player if you're too out of control physically. And yet he's been able to find ways to just continue to put up numbers.
Base hit for Gomez, drops in front of Jay, and the tying run is on. And here comes Mike Matheny. He will go to the bullpen here with 1 out in a 7-6 ball game. We'll step aside with St. Louis clinging to this lead. Manus coming in. It's our whiff package for Jaime Garcia. That's how the series started. A strikeout of Aoki. And for Jaime Garcia tonight, he gets 5 strikeouts, but he gives up 2 home runs, and very similar to his last start. At times looked like he was sailing along, and then a couple of home runs caught up with him. Tulowitzki comes to mind on Sunday. And here's Seth Maness, a 3-0 record, no walks. Love to see that. Young man that wears number 61 coming out of the bullpen now.
Just a strike machine. Doesn't throw particularly hard, but gets outs in a hurry.
A lot of ground balls. The double plays have piled up in a short time as Betancourt is a hero, the hitter. He is lined out and also flied out 0 for 2. Big lead by Gomez at first. Got to keep an eye on him.
I'd be very interested, Dan, and I would imagine that there is no such record kept anywhere about fewest number of walks per innings pitched in a minor league career. I'd be hard pressed to think that anybody's has ever been any better than Seth Maness's number in terms of career walks.
Gomez is running. Yachty to second, and the ball skips away from Carpenter. The throw is there on the short hop, couldn't hold on. It's a steal for Gomez. Milwaukee has tried to really incorporate that into their game, especially most recent series they had with Pittsburgh. In one game they had 6 steals.
Gomez, one of their threats. Carpenter could have come up with this on the short hop. Would have had time to put the tag down.
And now that tying run is in scoring position. Remember, the Cardinals jumped out to a 6-run lead. It was 6 to nothing after the 3rd inning here at Busch Stadium, and now 7-6. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ground ball to the right side. Carpenter makes the play. And there's 2 down. By the way, Ramirez, 30+ home runs now against the Cardinals in his career. And it was this date back in 2001 that he hit his first against St. Louis.
On this date.
Yep. And back then he was a Pittsburgh Pirate. Now up to 32 against the Cardinals.
Guy knows how to celebrate an anniversary, doesn't he?
I'm telling you.
By the way, Dan, my mom just came up to the booth to thank you for allowing her to be on the telecast on Mother's Day. And before you noticed that she was up here, I made sure she went back to her seat. So just letting you know.
You wouldn't give me the chance to bring her back on, huh?
No, but she did want to thank you for being so kind and gracious to her.
She's very sweet. So she's in town for the graduation tomorrow, too.
You bet.
Ricky Weeks, 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs and a runner at third. When Pittsburgh traded Ramirez away, it was in 2003. Kenny Lofton part of the deal to go from Pittsburgh to Chicago. They also get Ramirez in exchange for Jose Hernandez, Matt Bruback, and Bobby Hill, the infielder. That's what Pittsburgh got back. And they wonder why they've had 20 consecutive losing seasons.
I want a do-over on that deal.
Two and 2 the count.
I believe the Pirates had Jose Bautista.
Oh, yes.
As a young player, too. And I think they'd like to have him back as well.
There's a strikeout by Maness. But Aramis Ramirez putting on a show here in St. Louis. Not once, but twice. And both 3-run shots. We've got a ball game tonight on this Friday night from Busch. this Sunday. Look at those socks that you see pictured there in the lower left portion of your screen. High Sox Sunday. Also the Kids Pennant Day coming up. David Freese on it. Well, can the bullpen make it stick? Jaime Garcia. Most games leaving with a lead but not getting a win since 2010. It's happened 14 times for the lefty Garcia.
Yeah, it's not a list you want to be on, and Cardinals certainly don't want to add to it today. Garcia gives the bullpen a 1-run lead. Cardinals have certainly backed him well today with run support. And the right-hander for Milwaukee is Axford, who has fallen a very long way off the top of that pedestal in Milwaukee. He was the guy. I mean the guy. Lights out closer, our Chevy call to the bullpen. And he's really struggled with his off-speed pitches. And the oddity to that, Dan, is those aren't his best pitches, but he's had such trouble throwing them for strikes, his fastball has become more hittable. No hitter is really even concerned about his curveball because he's just not throwing it for a strike. It's not a competitive pitch. So you look fastball every time.
Off the glove of Weeks and a base hit for Carpenter. That's how we start the home half of the 6th. As Carpenter is on base for the 3rd time tonight. And the one out he made was a line out to center. Rick, to follow up your point, and we've been talking about the Brewers all season long with the fact that their bullpen and really their pitching overall has had so many issues. If you go back to the start of the 2012 season, the 9th inning ERA, 9th inning, so a lot of that was the man you see here on the mound in Axford, was near 5, 4.94, second worst in the big leagues, just behind the Mets. They have blown 36 saves, most in baseball since the start of the 2012 season. That was their big issue last year.
And those kind of losses and those kind of moments when your 9th inning guys don't get the job done are so demoralizing for a team. Interestingly, the Brewers have recalled K-Rod. Francisco Rodriguez is now out in their bullpen again after not offering him a contract this year. They kind of took a flyer on him and said, well, we'll just send you to the minor leagues for a while and we'll see. And they weren't really that interested in him, but the bullpen has gotten so bad that they got to the point where they had to make a decision on him, and they decided to just call him to the big leagues, put him out in the bullpen, and he's been okay. And the word that you get on Francisco Rodriguez as he's trying to help these other guys get through what they're going through as a bullpen, I've been told that he is as strong and clear-cut and helpful a leader in the bullpen as anybody they've seen in Milwaukee.
Trevor Hoffman was part of that bullpen.
But he has a little meanness to him that Trevor didn't really possess. A little bit of a, hey, you need to get ready, let's go, like acting like a coach out there. So I wouldn't have thought that about Rodriguez, but that's what the Brewers are all saying about him. They're glad to have him back.
Had some off the field issues.
Exactly.
And you know, for a while you were talking about a guy that was unhittable, especially with the Angels. 1-2 on Beltran. He struck out tonight and grounded out twice. 2-2. Carpenter's getting a pretty big lead down at first, and also a very big secondary lead. The 2-2. Pulled foul. Got a good look at that camera angle at the lead of Carpenter, and then how the game has changed to an extent of how a first baseman holds a runner, especially with a lefty on. And Bettencourt is off the bag about foot, foot and a half. And remember, they used to extend out with the left foot,
Right.
left your glove hand, left arm, and that has been a change in baseball. Tied him up. A fastball at 96 and a strikeout of Beltran.
And that kind of way of holding him on is going to be more helpful in keeping him close, but not necessarily picking him off.
Sure.
Good location. Just kept riding in on Carlos. It's a lot of movement for a pitch at 96.
Here is Holiday. He's 2 for 3, a pair of singles, a couple of RBIs. That total up to 26. Lots of room through the right side. Mentioned Jose Batista. Pirates weren't the only team that gave up on Jose Batista in their defense. Baltimore had a chance at him. Tampa Bay had him. Kansas City. The Mets. And then Pittsburgh had him for a number of seasons, and then he exploded with the Toronto Blue Jays. Already 9 home runs this year. As Holiday skies one into shallow right field. Gomez makes the catch, and there's 2 down.
And beyond that, the teams that did have him are the list of ones that you've just listed, but probably any other team in baseball could have got him. If they would have seen something in him with their pro scouts, I'm sure they could have got him for a song.
I mean, at one point he was in 2004 selected off of waivers. Two outs, runner at first. And the pitch is taken for a strike by Alan Craig.
You're laughing, Dan.
I just wish at some point the fans at home could hear what's going on in my headset and the conversations that are had between the truck and yourself or myself. But there are FCC regulations. And thank goodness they're in place. Nothing into the count on Craig.
We were just actually debating where the saying "get something for a song" actually came from, and how silly that statement really is. But I said it.
So it must be true.
No.
Just making it up. Oh, 2 the count on Craig. Lines it for a base hit, right center field. Carpenter on his way to third. And on an 0-2 pitch, Alan Craig on base for the 4th time tonight.
Talked about the curveball problems that John Axford has had. Alan Craig having a very good night. There's the curveball grip, and it just spins, 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 hit me, hit me, hit me, and that's what he does. Almost like it just slips out of his hand, Dan, instead of being able to pull it down sharply. And there was a time where that was a very good pitch for Axford. And it may be again.
And here is Yadier Molina. Yadi with a high fly ball into right. Aoki, plenty of room, makes the catch. The Cardinals strand 2. They have left 7 on tonight. They have 13 hits and yet just a 1-run lead. And this is the kind of poll that Rick Horton has. He says his choice would have been Matt Cain, and 45% say Matt Cain, who is 3-2 this year, ERA that's close to 6. Really stands out. The home runs allowed. He's given up 13 home runs this year.
I don't know if it's my poll or the fact that I voted 67 times.
A little bit of both. Making sure that you position yourself to look perfectly. Isn't that the case?
Of course. I better work a little harder.
So here we go in the 7th inning. Cardinals leading 7-6. Manis got the final 2 outs in relief of Garcia with a runner on in the top of the 6th. And there it is, strike. You wonder about the scouting reports now of major league teams where they do have video of minor leaguers, especially once they're at AAA. But if the idea would be, Rick, to go up there and say, look, let's be aggressive early, you're going to get a pitch to hit.
Well, I think there's been a lot of teams swinging at that first pitch against Manis and just beating it into the ground, too. So I think you're right. Don't expect that he's going to walk you for sure.
One away.
But you really have to set your sights low because he's got that sinker, that late movement that for some reason guys have a hard time picking up. And again, the strikes are just incredible from Manis. 247, Dan, minor league innings. 247 2/3 to be exact, and only 18 walks. And I'd like to hear of a pitcher that had a better walk ratio in their minor league career with more than, let's say, 200 innings. Just don't think there'll be many.
Now it's Logan Schaefer pinch hitting, takes a strike. So Manis came in. He saw Betancourt with the tying run on. He got a ground out, then the strikeout of Ricky Weeks. Line out by Maldonado. And here's the 0-1 pitch. Make it 0-2.
Dan, the minor leagues is a wonderful product for folks that travel around the country and get a chance to go to a small town, watch a minor league game. I mean, it is a blast. But there are some days where you're going to see 18 walks in a minor league game in one game. So forget the fact that Manis had 18 walks. He did it in 240 innings. That's just ridiculous. You're going to get bad calls that are going to lead to 3 or 4 of those walks, aren't you?
And this is the first time for me to watch him in person in a major league game. I didn't see him this last week, and just the glove, his size, and how he is handling himself. You know, he reminds me of a little bit Brad Thompson. Gets the ball, he works quickly, works from the first base side of the rubber.
I've heard that comparison. Brad Thompson with a little bit more on his fastball.
This is Aoki.
So Manis gets rid of the ball quickly. So does Pete Kozma.
Mr. Steady out there. And there's a base hit. Tying run is aboard. Go ahead run comes to the plate at Gene Segura.
Leadoff hitters for both clubs have done their jobs tonight.
Kozma in the hole. What a play. Takes the hit away. Kozma. Time to stretch here at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals clinging to a 1-run lead as they lead it 7-6. Pete Kozma. We have him ISO'd. Nice play here. about hit Milwaukee 13-7. Cardinals have stranded 7. Badenhop comes into the ball game for the Milwaukee Brewers. A Chevy call to the pen here at Busch Stadium. A little bit of everything defensively last half inning from Pete Kozma.
Nice easy play going to his left, very smooth, gets rid of it quickly. And speaking of getting rid of it quickly, off balance throw, much more range we've seen for Pete Kozma going into the hole than we see up the middle, though he's working towards improving that as well. But that was a really tough play. With Segura running, no chance to get him at first. He had to have an off balance throw right on the money, and that's what he did.
Congratulations to Vianney High School. I know a few people from there. They have won volleyball state championship tonight, so congratulations to Vianney High School. I believe that's their 17th state title in volleyball. And what is today? Today the 7. It is 17-17.
How about that? I've seen him play volleyball.
Pretty good. Here's John Jay, and the 1-0 pitch taken for a strike. Jay with a single and an RBI back in the 3rd.
Sometimes you just get feelings about games, Dan, that maybe it's out of some insecurity, maybe it's something that you see, maybe it's something that you just sense, or the way players are carrying themselves. But this just has a game that just feels very precarious to me. A couple of runs might change that, and this inning would be as good as any to make that happen against Badenhop. When the other team climbs back into a game, it just feels like momentum is there.
Nice play as Betancourt takes the hit away from John Jay. You jump out to that lead. The crowd is into it. You have a 6-run lead, and now it's 7-6.
And maybe that's part of it. You can sense when a crowd has been taken out of a game, and the guy who's done that clearly is Aramis Ramirez. David Freese had the big blow for the Cardinals, a grand slam in the 1st inning, and this crowd was going crazy here at Busch Stadium. But Aramis Ramirez changed that. A 3-run shot in the 4th and another in the 6th. And it just seems to have taken the wind out of the sails of the Cardinals. And thankful that Seth Maness has pitched well out of the pen, but the Cardinals with some very important outs left to get.
Gets him to reach, and a ground ball to Segura. Slings it over to first for out number 2. Well, things just got serious here at the ballpark. The Cards have scored 6. That means any size coffee, fountain, or frozen drink, only 50 cents all day tomorrow at On the Run. 6 is a serious number. Crowd tonight, 39,426. 39426 is Rosenthal throwing in the pen. Matt Adams has moved to the on-deck circle. And a lefty getting loose in the pen for Milwaukee for Adams. Two balls and no strikes.
Nice to see the Cincinnati Reds finally lose a game. Reds and the Pirates have been winning right along with the Cardinals over the last week or so. John Marshall, the losing pitcher in Philadelphia. And I know it's early to scoreboard watch, but I just like doing it, Dan. That's it.
You're not the only one.
Well, that's why they put it up there, right?
That's right.
Because they know we're interested. Pirates did win. Beat the Astros 5-4.
There's a foul ball. Be curious to see what happens with the Phillies towards the trade deadline. With the age of that team, they're averaging just over 3 runs a game coming into play tonight, and certainly they have some names and some salaries that they could shed.
Very close to turnover time with them.
Yeah.
The hard part with them right now is they keep teasing their general manager. They'll play well for a while, and then you realize, well, okay, Atlanta's losing. The Nationals aren't really running away with it either. They're having their own issues. They're only a few games back, and then they go into another tailspin.
Good Cosma by a step. The hard thrower, Trevor Rosenthal, coming on when we come back. Let's head to our studio and a Bomberito Sports Update. All right, Pat, thanks. What a blast. And it's our Chevy call to the pen. The hard thrower, Trevor Rosenthal. 17 pitches you saw there in that total last week or so. So well rested. And that was really a big concern, especially at the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season.
And that concern was answered by very solid Cardinal starting pitching, which didn't need any help in the bullpen. And so you could afford to rest Trevor Rosenthal. And the Cardinals on their win streak also had enough runs to where they were able to use kind of the whole bullpen without having to kind of go to your 8th inning specialist, which is really where Rosenthal finds himself with this team. And he's been very, very good in that spot.
Ryan Braun at the plate, the 1-1. Braun last time up was 3-0 on Garcia, and he's 3 for 3, a home run against Trevor Rosenthal, but it was 3-0 and then eventually struck out. One of the bright spots tonight for Jaime.
Yeah, and talk about one of your high leverage situations in a ball game. It's the 8th inning 1-run lead. You're facing Braun, Ramirez, and Gomez. This 8th inning chore could be as difficult as the 9th inning that Mojica would have in store for him. Maybe more so.
3-2. A lot of talk about Rosenthal switching agents in the offseason. He's now signed up with Scott Boras. As Trevor said, it's because Scott offers a lot outside of the big contracts that he gets. That's up the middle. Cosma gets to it, but no play. Braun is aboard, and the tying run is on. So now 4 for 4. Ryan Braun against Rosenthal, and here comes that Cardinal killer in Ramirez. So most RBIs in a game this season. Ramirez, by the way, has matched his total of the season in this game. Billy Butler, Echevarria, the shortstop for the Marlins. That's up and in to Ramirez. That'll get your attention at 97. Two and 0.
And one more time in case you missed the first one. Interesting that Garcia's line very similar to his last outing, Dan, where if you just kind of look at the raw numbers, take away runs out of the picture. 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits. That's not so bad. 1 walk. That's good. 5 strikeouts. That's good. Pitch count, not bad. It's just that the home run ball the last 2 times out has hurt him. That's 4 home runs in 2 games for a sinker ball pitcher. Very unusual.
Full count.
I don't know what the book is that the Cardinals have on Aramis Ramirez, but I've said this many times. I suggest throwing it away. Ask somebody else's scouts how to pitch to him.
He's just destroyed Cardinal pitching. Runner goes on the 3-2. Strike him out. Goodbye. It's a double play. He's done it again. Strike him out, throw him out. And just like that, the momentum in this inning and maybe this game is back with St. Louis.
Clutch pitch, clutch throw, good tag all the way around. Absolutely out is Ryan Braun. And Yadier Molina can turn a game on a dime.
Thank you very much. How about that? What a way to change the complexion of the inning and maybe the night for St. Louis. this one-run lead, the 32nd time in his career that Molina has that strike him out, throw him out, and this is the second time for David Freese to do this in his career. A grand slam, our Nissan drive of the game, and that was part of a big inning in which the Cardinals picked up 5 in the first. They've added 2 more, and at one point led this ball game 6-0. It's now 7-6, and Matt Adams due up, and the lefty is coming in. We remind you that baseball is brought to you by Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Interesting turn of events here at the ballpark, as there is the speed up rule in baseball. And here is the lefty Gonzalez to face Adams. First pitch is hit out of play. And this was something that was done 2012 as the shift is on here for Matt Adams. Looks at strike 2. Major League Baseball trying to find a lot of different ways to speed up the game. And they talk about last-minute bullpen managing as a thing of the past, as managers, this idea would be forced to return. The pitcher they had warming up to start the inning has to stay out there. And Ron Renneke had Badenhop go out there knowing Adams is coming up, as Adams strikes out, and then brought in his lefty. And I guess Ron Renneke could say, and he did have a conversation during our break with the home plate umpires, that Adams had not been officially announced.
That's all I'm thinking, because
that's the only way.
They called that rule at one point the Tony La Russa rule, because what he'd do is he would buy time for his reliever to get loose in the bullpen by just sending the guy out with no intention of using him. And Badenhop went out and threw his warm-up tosses, but never threw a pitch in the inning. And that kind of defies that speed up rule that has been in effect. And all I can think of is that Matt Adams was not officially kind of re-announced as the pinch hitter. And that kind of gives Ron Renneke an out.
Here is Carpenter. He's had a big night. On base 3 times, 3 for 4. 1 out was a line out to center. You might remember it was last June. Joe Madden had Sam Fuld, who's an outfielder, warm up without the intention of, and I mean warm up on the mound, without the intention of ever using him, and that was to give a reliever more time in the pen. So that was also part of the process of making sure that managers couldn't do something like that. Clever idea from Joe Madden.
Of course.
So,
well, if you give a baseball manager a loophole, he's going to find it, and he's going to use it.
Carpenter pops it up. Cardinals have Mujica getting loose in the pen. The Brewers will have Betancourt, Weeks, and Maldonado due up. Here's Beltran, who'll hit from the other side of the plate. Weeks is now moving towards the second base bag, and Segura deep in the hole at short. Outfield deep and straight away. Ramirez at third is near the line. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Carlos. Fouls it back. Good rip. We'll have to ask Ron Renicky what was said to him from our home plate umpire about this move. Out in front and pops it up a mile high. Braun coming on to make the catch. Mujica has been sensational as the closer. Can he do it again? We'll find out when we come back. Hopefully very soon in this inning. Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live is coming up next. Pat Parrish standing by, and he is now the Cardinals closer, Edward Mujica, and he has walked into this role, and boy, what a job he's done.
He's been perfect since he's had the role and relied on his off-speed pitch, which he calls a changeup, kind of a split-fingered grip, and really can throw it in all counts, Dan, and is able to throw a lot of strikes with it, which I think makes it even more effective. And not really a dominating closer type, but certainly a guy that confidently attacks the strike zone, which is a pretty good trait for a closer.
Nearly 40,000 here tonight. Betancourt leads it off. He is hitless against Mujica in his career, 0 for 5. Then it's Weeks and Maldonado. Outfield is straight away, and the first pitch is strike one. That's the other thing that you love to see about Mujica, too. He is pumping strikes.
Absolutely. Betancourt, Weeks, Maldonado.
One away.
Again, a lot better than saying you're going to be facing Braun, Ramirez, and Gomez.
Mujica's had a little bit of that run like Ryan Franklin did. Ryan did a tremendous job as the Cardinals closer, and not your prototypical closer because he wasn't throwing 100 miles an hour, which is what a lot of people talk about, as Weeks is 1 for 7. But Ryan had the arsenal of pitches, pinpoint control, and guts. And when you add all that up, he was pretty darn good.
Guts goes a long way in this role.
And a short memory too, because that will happen at some point. Ryan now working in the front office as a special assistant to John Mozeliak. Weeks with 3 home runs this year. You know he's got power. Nothing in 2. Here's the 0-2. Again, a reminder, tomorrow, game number 2. We're on the air at 5:30. Lynn and Estrada. Lance Lynn looking to become a 7-game winner.
Jaime Garcia hoping to become a 5-game winner here tonight. Dodgers lost again to the Atlanta Braves, but congratulations to my good friend Scott Van Slyke with his 2nd home run.
Another one, huh? All the big names, and Scott Van Slyke is the one that's putting up numbers.
How about that?
Good for him. Here's a 1-2. Tapped foul again. A little different player than his daddy was. Different bodies and how they go about it, but still to be able to say we were major leaguers, what an accomplishment.
No question. Brother AJ, a longtime Cardinal minor leaguer and a good player in his own right.
1-2 pitch. Winks, swing and a miss. Strikeout. 2 away, nobody on, and the Cardinals trying to hold on for Jaime Garcia.
There's the late break of that changeup. Can't lay off it.
On their feet here at Busch Stadium. One 1-0 on Maldonado.
The Cardinals bullpen has gotten this crowd back in this game.
Manus, Rosenthal, now Mujica. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1. This should do it. A fly ball into right, and the Cardinals take game 1 of this weekend series against Milwaukee. Mujica, the Budweiser player of the game. Another 1-2-3 9th inning for him. Garcia picks up the victory. And finally, David Freese has that first homer.
Good news for David Freese, and good teams, Dan, win close games, and that's what we saw here tonight. The Brewers got back into it, but the Cardinals wouldn't let them get all the way back into it. Kudos to the Cardinals bullpen for shutting the door.
Make sure you stay with us. David Freese, we hope to visit with him, and the Cardinals hold on 7-6. Post game next.